We are at Mustapha chrak's residence to perform a repairability assessment. It's Thursday, October 17th. It's currently 60 degrees and sunny at the property. I'm going to begin by going through my marking key. So as you can see, yellow chalk is going to be the outline of the shingles. Blue chalk is going to be any creasing that occurs. Orange chalk is going to be any mat transfer that occurs. Green chalk is going to be any tears that occur. The pink chalk is going to be used to mark the damaged shingles once the assessment is complete. If you come over here, you can see our damaged shingle. The blue chalk is from the adjuster meeting last week. The yellow chalk is to outline the damaged shingle itself. As you can see here, the tab is unsealed and there is a crease going across. Next, we're going to use a soft bristle brush, as you can see right here, to lightly brush across the top of an undamaged shingle to see if any granule loss occurs. Just from the light brush, as you can see, granules are already coming off. This indicates that during manipulation of the shingles to access the fasteners of the damaged shingle, there's a high probability that creasing is going to occur. Therefore, those shingles would then be damaged and must also be replaced. So first, I'm going to outline the lay pattern of the shingles around to identify which shingles potentially could sustain damage, and I'm going to explain why. So starting below the damaged shingle, with these two shingles, this shingle here has the potential for mat transfer. It doesn't have the potential for tearing or creasing. The mat transfer is there because we have to unseal these two tabs of the damaged shingle to be able to remove it from the roofing system. This shingle here most likely will not sustain any damage, as the damaged tab of the damaged shingle is directly above it. Therefore, it doesn't have to be unsealed. The shingle directly right of the damaged shingle, while it doesn't have the potential for creasing or tearing, it does have the potential for mat transfer, as we have to unseal the tabs that are directly above the damaged shingle to access the fasteners of the damaged shingle itself. Therefore, it has the potential for mat transfer. Now, the first row of shingles above the damaged shingle have the potential for all three types of damage. This shingle here falls across the two left tabs of the damaged shingle, as well as part of the damaged shingle, or the damaged tab itself, has the potential for mat transfer along the bottom edge of the shingle from separating it from the damaged shingle, as well as from separating the tabs above. And I'll illustrate why that potential is there. So the standard 3-tab shingle is 36 inches by 12 inches in height. If you can see here, 12 inches falls about halfway up the second row of shingles above the damaged shingle. The nail line is going to be somewhere between 10.5 and 11 inches up from the bottom of the damaged shingle. Therefore, the nail line that's in this row of shingles is through the top edge of the damaged shingle. So these shingles have to be separated to access those fasteners to release the damaged shingle. Therefore, there's potential mat transfer between the first row and the second row of shingles here. Now, as that shingle falls directly above in the same lay pattern as the damaged shingle, the second row above the damaged shingle only has one shingle with potential involvement. We're going to go directly left of the damaged shingle. As similar to the right, because we have to unseal this tab, there's a potential for mat transfer to the shingle. Most likely it will not incur creasing or tearing, but it could have mat transfer, and that's why it's involved. So next, I'm going to mark the shingles going around, and then I'm going to take some photos to show their condition before I perform the repair assessment. So we're going to mark that as 1, working counterclockwise, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So there's a potential 7 additional shingles around the damaged shingle that could become damaged from manipulating the shingles to access the fasteners to release the damaged shingle. Next, I'm gonna blow off the chalk that's here so it doesn't muddy up the test area, and then I'm gonna begin unsealing the tabs that need to be released so I can access fasteners. So I'm gonna grab my photos before I begin. All right, to unseal the shingles, I'm going to be using a simple putty knife with a very thin edge. I'm going to be unsealing all of shingle 5, all of shingle 6, the leftmost tab of shingle 4, as well as the left and central tab of the damaged shingle. So now I'm going to be using the speed square in concert with my small pry bar to access the fasteners to remove them from the roofing system. And as you can see here, the fasteners are in fact in the correct placement. They are not overdriven. I've now removed all the main line of nails from the damaged shingle. I'm going to move up one more row. As I explained earlier, these fasteners are catching the top edge of the damaged shingle. So I'll illustrate here how it cannot be removed. I do want to show that a small tear did take place in the keyway right here. Now that all fasteners are removed, I'm going to remove the damaged shingle from the roofing system. There's the tape code. No branding on the back. However, in my experience, the do not remove branding is indicative of an Owens Corning shingle. Next, we're going to take a closer look at the sealant line on the top edge of the damaged shingle to identify any potential mat transfer, which we do have some here. You can see the granules have pulled away with the sealant. They've transferred to shingle number 5 above. Therefore, shingle 5 will not reseal to whatever shingle is below. In this case, it would be the damaged shingle. Again here, We have some mat that transferred from the shingle above, which is shingle 5. Therefore, that shingle is now damaged. You can see in these areas right here where granules have transferred across. So again, it will not seal back there as well. Introducing a secondary mastic sealant to the roofing system would create a maintenance item, and the homeowner would not be at pre-loss condition at that point, as that maintenance would have to be performed every couple years. So now we're going to look at the sealant on the back of the damaged shingle to identify if there's any mat transfer. There are a few places. Right here, you can see where the sealant transferred across. The mat's visible. Again here. Right here, you can see a large area. You can even see the fibers of the shingle. That shows that that transferred across. Again, this is the damaged tab. Therefore, it should not have any mat transfer. I'm gonna set this to the side for now so we can investigate the rest of the shingles. So here, you can see where granules have transferred across. Again, right here, the matte color is indicative of the sealant being transferred with matte on top of it from the shingle above. Again here, that's where those granules transferred across, and here. So now shingle 1 is now damaged, has to be replaced per code. This is the sealant line under the damaged tab on top of shingle 2. There's no mat transfer present here, so shingle 2 is not damaged. Now I'm going to take a look at shingle 3. There is no mat transfer to shingle 3. It is undamaged. We're going to take a look at shingle 7. As you can see here, granules have transferred across to the top edge. So therefore, shingle 7 is damaged. We're going to take a look at shingles 5 and 6. We do have some heavy granules that transferred here, as well as here. And you can see that granule on the top edge of shingle 6. Therefore, shingle 5 is now damaged. Check here now. We do have some granules that transferred across here, as well as down here. Therefore, shingle 4 is also damaged, as well as shingle 6. Next, I'm going to reintroduce the shingle into the roofing system and reattach it with fasteners. I'm going to be using a standard hammer to reintroduce the fasteners. I want to illustrate the height required to raise the tab to correctly fasten the shingle back into the roofing system. So there's your standard 45-degree angle. As you can see, when I first touch, I'm directly below the sealant line in an area that would not be recommended to put a nail by manufacturer specifications. As you can see, I'm about 1 inch below the fastener that is present on the roof. Therefore, I have to lift the shingle slightly higher so I don't catch the edge when I'm fastening it to the roofing system. As you can see there, I caught the edge of the shingle. Fibers are now showing. It is damaged. Next, I'm going to reintroduce the nails on the second line of sealant. One more nail. Need a brush. So next I'm going to take the brush, same one I used for the assessment. Lightly brush across any shingles I had to manipulate to access the fasteners. You can see the granules coming off the shingle. The crease is beginning to develop across the shingle. Before that shingle is now damaged, must be replaced, as this crease is only going to increase over time. Again, you can see all the areas that granules have released. And again, more granules have released. More creasing going across here. More creasing going across here. And finally, more creasing going across here. Now the granules are important because they protect the asphalt base layer from UV radiation that dries out the asphalt below and makes the shingles brittle. If I were to leave these shingles without replacing them, over time they would eventually become brittle and break off, and it would show that more damage was created from replacing one shingle. So I'm going to remark out my lines for the outline. Shingle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and finally 7. Now using green chalk, I'm going to go through and identify the areas of mat transfer. I'm going to place small X's directly below where they're located. You have mat transfer there, which granules have transferred across.
Orange is mat transfer.
Oh, I apologize. Thank you. Orange chalk to mark the mat transfer. The transfer occurred here, as well as here. And here. Again, as we noted earlier, there wasn't any mat transfer to shingle 2. There's mat transfer here. As well as here. And right here. Therefore, shingle 1 is damaged. Must be replaced. Shingle 2 did not sustain any damage. Shingle 3 did not sustain any damage. Shingle 5 did sustain mat transfer damage, as well as creasing. Therefore, shingle 5 is damaged, must be replaced. Therefore, it has mat transfer here. Mat transfer here between shingles 6 and 5. Mat transfer here between shingles 6 and 5. Mat transfer here between shingle 6 and 5. Shingle 6 also sustained increasing damage and granule loss. Therefore, shingle 6 is also damaged because of the mat transfer between 6 and 4. Shingle 4 is also damaged, and because of the mat transfer between 5 and 7, shingle 7 is damaged. Therefore, to replace one shingle on this roofing system, 5 shingles sustained damage. Therefore, the repair assessment has failed, and spot repairs are not a viable option for the roofing system. This concludes the repair assessment on Mustapha chrak's property on Thursday, October 17th.